Yeah, I've historically been one of those people who have spreadsheets to organize my spreadsheets.
Oh my God. This is where you admit you have a problem, right? That's the first step, admitting you have a
Oh,
problem.
I am a terrible productive procrastinator. I would
Right.
much rather spend 5 or 6 hours detailing and organizing my entire house than spend 30 minutes answering all of these emails in my inbox.
I'm so with you. I'm going to tell you a funny story. So a few years ago, a friend of mine asked me to co-found the company with him. And I was like, what is it? And he's like, I want to make like a mindful to-do list. And I said, I have used so many to-do list apps and they're fun for like a month as I put everything in there and I organize them and sort them and group them by project and like color code them by scent, like whatever it is. And some of them have beautiful UI where you just like drag them with your thumb and they drop wherever you want. And it's just so fun. And then after like 6 to 8 weeks, I don't use it. It's full of garbage I'm not going to do. And it's
Hmm.
annoying to open up and da-da. So I said no initially. I was like, I love you. I will cheer you on. I will help you, but I'm not going to co-found that with you, right? So he came back and he's like, look, I built a little prototype. And I was like, I told you, I'll help you out. So I helped him out for like a year or two. And that, when he had a baby, became oh man, I need to go get a real job, blah, blah. And that became the genesis of the Suka Company, which is what I do with my life now, which is really a flow state app, help you get into flow, like, just be in more control of your life. But it began with exactly that, going, hey, you want to make a to do list? No, no, I really don't.
I mean, they're fun though, for a
They
while,
are.
but
But like
then
you
they
said, they
turn
can be a
into a
huge
whole
waste of
job in and of
time.
itself.
Yeah. How many have you used over the years?
Oh, man,
Right?
a
See?
lot.
See? I'm on
Trello
Google
stuck for a
Tasks
while.
now. Oh, I've used Trello. I've used Wunderlist, Clear, Asana, Basecamp. Never used Jira, Linear. Like, I can't even tell you the number of task managers that I've used. And like, ultimately, you do the work you don't. I know
Yeah.
it sounds not that profound, but it just is.
Hmm. Yeah, most of trying to figure out how to do the tasks is just avoiding doing the task, for sure.
Truth.
And we do
I mean,
it
that's
for a
it. Full
whole lot of
stop.
reasons. It's
Right.
fear of success, which is crazy. People,
Mhm.
uh, it's common knowledge now. Most of us have a fear of success, but
Correct.
we all want to push back and be like, of course I don't. Of course I'm not afraid of making money. What are you talking about? I love money. I want money. And like, no, you actually subconsciously don't though, because there's safety in what you've always known. And that's
Yeah.
why to truly be successful and like have it stick. Because again, winning the lottery almost never works out well for those who won because
Right.
they can't hold on to it. They don't know how to hold on to it. They're subconsciously sabotaging it and getting rid of it because it's not safe. It's not something that they're used to. And people don't want
So
to believe that,
you've
but
studied this in advance of winning the lottery. You're like, I'm gonna be ready.
ah, man, I come from people who just spent their entire that was a really big influence of my life for sure is
Mhm.
that everybody around me were constantly buying lottery tickets and
Oh
talking about
wow.
how that was going to change their world and change our lives and when they hit the lottery and I'm not a gambler because
No.
I don't uh I need to know that I'm actually getting something back from what I'm putting in.
Oh, how
And
weird you are. Go on.
I
Okay, tell
know.
me more of this.
So what I figured out from a pretty early age was the only thing that I can truly bet on and it be in any way in my control is myself.
Hmm, true.
So why leave it to chance when you can actually start putting in some, goals and achievements and mechanisms and plans to not ensure, but way more ensure than buying a lottery ticket all the time.
Okay, so my parent, part of why I have a very strong work ethic is both my parents were raised in a kind of poverty that I do not understand. They worked hard to make sure I didn't know what that was like, right? Like dad, India, lived, grew up on a concrete rooftop with five brothers and sisters exposed to the elements on the top of someone's apartment. That's all they could have, right? Mom, similar sort of experience. And I'll tell you this, my mom had on the wall when we were growing up this sign in the kitchen, right by kitchen table. It said, I'm a very lucky person. And I find the harder I work, the more luck I have.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, that.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me, probably a couple of years, not when I was 3 or 5, but maybe 8 or 10, that I realized that she was trying to say, like, you can't count on luck. Like,
Mm-hmm.
go do your studies, go to school, get a job, work hard. And man, she walked her talk. So yeah, I'm
That's
with you.
good.
Yeah.
Hardship really breeds motivation for sure. Again, a lot of problems we have these days in the first world, first world problems, is
Mm-hmm.
that we're too comfortable.
Yeah.
And comfort is where we go to die. And so it's where it drains all of our motivation, it drains all of our drive. And
Yeah.
then we're all sitting around depressed. And we don't know why we're depressed. And we're
Mm-hmm.
anxious, and we don't know why we're anxious. And it's because we've built a little cocoon of safety and we don't like a certain amount of safety is, of course, preferable,
Mm-hmm.
but it's kind of like if you don't take care of yourself, you'll get sick and you'll be forced to take care of yourself. So
Mm-hmm.
instead of spending a little bit of time every day taking care of yourself, you'll be forced into a whole week like where you can't get out of bed and you're just so sick you can't stand. And so the same thing works with adversity. You can choose to, you know, quote unquote, suffer a little bit for the bigger
Right.
picture. So, and I use that term loosely. What I'm talking about suffering is like go to the gym and work out, and answer the damn emails. Just sit
Mm-hmm.
there, answer the
Yeah.
emails. Uh, enter whatever task, habit, achievement goal you want to
Mm-hmm.
accomplish. Just you got to do the work.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Because even before we've recorded, our episode, we were talking about the procrastination thing and all that. Do you find it true that when you have to, empty the inbox or do whatever, at the end of doing it, it's less onerous than you were projecting it would be?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right?
It's like
Yeah.
you spend 3 weeks avoiding the 10-minute phone call.
Right?
Hmm.
Why is that? Why is that?
Why
Why
do we do
is
that?
that? I know. Now, I'm going to be vulnerable about something that I know where I have this weird thing, right? For me, it is this. And it took me a while to figure this out. And that's kind of why I built what I built was I can make a nice, simple list. Like we talked about, not color coded in 14 Notion pages, but I've gotten to the place where like Google Tasks is enough for me. Oh, need to do something, jot it down. Later, look at it. I should do this. When I would start my day, the very act of looking at that list and seeing like 17 things was paralyzing.
Hmm.
It made it hard to do one of them because I look at them and just like, oh, I have to get done. There's no way. There's no way. There's no,
Hmm.
right? And that's crazy because it's not that any one of them was that bad. Some of them are just like, hey man, remember to mail off your taxes or something, right? Check, drop it in an envelope, mail it, right? 1 minute. But 17 of them, somehow that became this like mental obstacle of like, I'll do any, let me go redo the laundry. I should
Hmm.
probably run it a second time, just make sure it's clean. Like just
Organize
awful.
the silverware drawer.
Oh, good
I need
God.
to.
Can I tell you? Yeah. My silverware drawer is actually alphabetical now.
But how are those emails looking?
I'm just, I reply to you though, right? Credit, credit. You know what I did? And you're going to laugh is when we were writing Suka, I made it so when you start, it hides everything but your top three. And I found that was not paralyzing for me to look and go, oh, mail off the taxes, reply to Savannah's email, and whatever the other thing is, like launch the new feature or something. And that thing of just saying like, hey man, it's the same tasks, it's the
Hmm.
same time of day, it's the same me, but just not seeing the other 14 things was a huge relief. Where I'm like, oh, okay, I think I can get going, and then stop procrastinating. Which for me was, oh, let me just check my emails real quick, see if there's anything in there, and reply to emails that didn't really need, an urgent reply,
Hmm.
or check the news was a big one.
Hmm.
I just should stay on top of what's going on and spend 15, 20 minutes just like scrolling through the news as if something happening in Namibia is going to affect the email and the tax check I have to write, you know?
Hmm. Yeah, it's much better to just keep the blinders up, honestly. My
Yeah.
philosophy, because I used to get real carried away in politics. I became like it
You
was like
don't
my early
say.
20s. Not anymore. It was like my
French
early 20s.
politics, German.
Oh, US. But um early on, when kind of like I woke up to the rest of the world and was like, "Oh crap, I need to like live eco-friendly, zero waste, minimalistic, vegan, you name it. I was trying to do it because
Really? Wow.
oh
That's
yeah.
a pretty big burden. That's yeah.
Yeah, I don't recommend it. That's way
That's
too much
it's
for
hard. Yeah.
any person. You want to like slow drip your
You're
way.
right. Bite-sized chunks.
Yes, anyway.
Today I shall not litter.
Yeah, that's simple, right?
I'm just
Uh,
saying.
but I had to completely boycott the news because I would get so worked up and my anxiety would be so bad. And even now, like
I get it.
I hate Facebook and I want so badly to not be on it,
Mhm.
but having
But
a small local business,
yeah.
it's a very convenient way to keep everybody up to date with what you're doing and what
Yeah.
events you have going on because a lot of people are resistant to emails and they
Hmm.
just completely ignore them entirely, which I understand. They can get very overwhelming.
Hmm.
I'm a big advocate of curating everything, unsubscribing to as much as you possibly
Oh,
can.
good. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you on that.
Yeah. So
Yep.
if it's not positively affecting your life or if it's not useful, like we'll have projects laying around the house. Okay. For example, uh, a table lamp that needs fixing. And it just needs
Hmm.
like some screws tightened or and the
Yeah.
bulb replaced.
I
It's
got it.
not a big
I
deal.
have one. Yeah.
Yeah. I've started when I'm cleaning and navigating things, the question is, or what I tell myself is, do it now or get rid of it. Which one is it?
Ooh,
Do it now or get rid of it.
harsh. I like it.
Yeah, but it just makes all the difference in the world when you put it into perspective like that. Like, is it important enough to do it right this moment? Because I mean, like, I have time, it's
Mhm.
microtask. And that's another thing is we're all just drowning in microtasks all day long. But
Yeah. Yeah.
if it's you're gonna just keep putting it off and putting it off and putting it off, and in the meantime, you're cleaning around it, you're navigating around it, it's
Hmm.
still taking up space and energy in your life.
Hmm.
And a lot of those tendencies come from a place of lack inherited from our parents because, our generation, we're doing pretty good in most cases.
Hmm.
If you take out like the crippling depression and anxiety that we're all suffering through. But our parents and our grandparents come from unfathomable amounts of hardship for the most part.
Agreed. I
And
agree.
that we don't even realize, we don't even remember. You talked about your parents and what they dealt with. My dad talks about how they didn't have indoor plumbing
Yeah.
until he was a teenager.
Right. And you take it for granted,
Oh yeah, we all do.
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I
The
know.
comforts that we are soaked in, they if you take we think about one percenters being the top elite from uh movies and
Hmm.
famous people and all,
Yep.
but the one percenters of the world are those who make like 30,000 a year or 15,000 a year. It's not much. And that qualifies you as a one percenter of the world. So
Wow.
most people in the world are living in very harsh, very poor conditions,
Yes.
exposed to the elements, looking for food every single day,
Hmm.
not knowing if they'll find it or not, no clean water, no access to any sort of health care,
Yep.
or sanitation services. And We're over here, what, complaining about emails?
Yeah, you are so close to hitting a button with me where I get on a soapbox and like I just warn you, seeing
Go.
some of the things you see where it's just like seriously, you have this ability to affect this many people's lives in a positive way, and what you're focused on is making another $1 billion when you can't spend the 300 billion you have.
hmm Yeah,
And you're
it's
like,
sad.
you're doing things so that more people die so you can have another billion.
hmm
What, just walk me through this. Did your dad not love you enough?
Correct. That's probably
Seriously.
exactly what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something as simple as that. Because people who do have all of the love and support as a child growing
Mm-hmm.
up, they don't they don't have anything to prove. They don't
Mm-hmm.
have anything to chase and um, they don't do things like that. They turn around and they help other people. It shows. It shows in
It
your
does so.
personality.
Why do you think you're here? Why are you on Earth?
A series of unfortunate events. I'm just here to have a good time.
Oh, really? And
hmm
that's why you put the work into things you put the work into, like making a podcast for having a good time.
Yep. It started out of spite, and then
Why? What spite? Spite about what?
well, okay, so I had a friend, and me and her had just amazing 4 hour long conversations every day, and it was
Mm-hmm.
just, we were both like chronic researchers, so we just like
Mm-hmm.
researched and analyzed, and psychology. It was all super interesting, and I tried for years to talk her into doing a podcast,
All right.
but she was the dominant personality between the two of us.
Right.
And I had too many wheels turning already, so I couldn't take on another project.
Mm-hmm.
For years, I tried to talk her into this, and she was like, "Yes, let's do it." And there was always a but. There was always we need a better mic, or we need a better software editing system.
Right. Sure.
We
Yeah.
need this, we need that. And I was like, no, we don't, no, we don't, no, we don't.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, like, we ended up having a falling out, and I started the podcast just to kind of show her that you didn't need any of that stuff. And literally all I had was my laptop, internet, and a mic. That was it.
There
And
you go.
turned out, well, I had done podcasts like as a guest
Yeah.
for
Sure.
years. I started doing podcasts as a guest in 2015.
They
And
had podcasts back then.
yeah,
Is
they
that
were
when the
kind of
dinosaurs were doing podcasts with their little claws?
it was dial up. It was dial
Right.
up.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Oh, I got you. Okay.
You had to like phone in, so there was no video. A lot of times it was just on the phone, no video, and the sound quality was subpar at best. It sounded like one of those really old radios that was like in
Oh,
a
wow. Yeah.
distance.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so I enjoyed doing podcasts, but I didn't want the responsibility of hosting one and having
Right.
my
And
own.
producing it. And yeah.
Yeah, so it was like 2021, something like that, when I was like, it was just gonna be,
Pandemic.
I was just gonna show her. I was just like, here, look, it's this simple. All
Okay.
these excuses
Yeah.
don't matter. It's this
This
simple.
is very revealing about your personality. Keep going. This is good.
And then, I don't know, I enjoy talking to people. And it's really hard
Mm-hmm.
to get a solid conversation on a
Mm-hmm.
day-to-day basis. Most people want to glaze over the surface area, the top level of things,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not really interested in that.
By the
That's
way, how's the weather? Is the weather good down there?
exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's a little rainy today.
Yeah. Here too. Yeah. Okay. I'm
Where
glad
are
we
you?
talked. I'm here, right at my desk.
Yeah, where in the world is that
I'm
desk
in
located?
Austin.
Where?
I'm in Austin, Texas.
Oh, okay, cool. I
It's
hear
where
a
the
lot.
northwest side by the HEB, if you know that area. Yeah.
Yeah, all right. I don't, but my husband's family lives in Waco.
Oh, sure. Well, one of my good friend's family was in Waco and is about to head out there for Christmas next week.
Oh, cool. I call it
Yep.
Wacko because they're all crazy.
Pretty much.
His
Yeah.
family.
I wouldn't say that in Waco, but you can say it here in our safe private space because no one can hear you. Oh,
No,
hold on.
no, it's just between me and you.
Right. Exactly.
But yeah, So that's where we how we got here. I just like
Interesting.
having conversations with people.
And who listens? Who comes now to you and says, I just want to listen to the things you talk about and the people you want to talk with?
More people than I expect. So, uh, a lot of managers for sure. That's what's in
Interesting.
my
Why?
that's
Why?
in, well, no, because they're looking for people to put on my podcast. Those types of
Oh.
managers.
God, those types of managers. I thought you meant like mid-level managers at Xerox or something. I was like, that's curious. I wouldn't have guessed that.
No, no, my audience is people, mostly moms, mostly
Mhm.
parents, because I've done a lot of doula work in the past,
Yep.
and
We have a
who
doula
were
now.
oh yeah,
I
yeah.
have a 5 week old.
Congratulations.
I'm so happy, can't even tell you.
How caffeinated are you? Are you sleeping?
I haven't caffeinated since the 90s.
Oh, good. I
Yeah,
really need to quit.
I don't drink alcohol. I did some ayahuasca a few years ago, and after it, I kind of lost the taste for alcohol, so I don't really drink anymore. And I haven't had caffeine for ages, like decades. I'm like this
Cool.
with no caffeine. You don't want to see me on caffeine.
I have a very slow personality, just in general. I don't move
Mm-hmm.
very quickly, so caffeine helps me a little bit, but it gets too much. I need like
No
everything's
judgments.
got like 200 milligrams of caffeine. Coffee has like 60. I need something that's got like 120, right in
You
the
know
middle.
that now. You know how to titrate your caffeine. This is
Yeah.
what I need right here. Yeah, I know. It is amazing if you do read a lot of the. I live in Austin, as we said, and the town is full of, let's say, influencers and want to be influencers that give you health advice and supplements and energy drinks and health hacks and biohacks and red light therapy and cold plunge sauna, right? It is
Hmm.
filled with that. And if you actually dig down on most of the drinks that you're being offered, like, oh, this will do this, focus it down there, it's some sort of caffeine.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, okay, gotcha. So these other sound really good. The ashwagandha you add that comes from sacred monks and Tibet and whatever, like
Hmm.
all this stuff sounds awesome. And then by the way, there's caffeine and it'll help you focus. Like, oh, magic.
Yeah, magic.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think we are getting more health conscious as a society, which is wonderful because God knows it's been lacking for
Mm-hmm.
a while. Not through any fault of our own. I feel like that was marketed to us in a really bad way, starting in like the 50s or something.
Mm-hmm.
Food
It's
pyramid's
interesting. Do you
upside
remember? I
down.
don't know if you remember this. Remember, at least when I was in school, they taught like the food pyramid and this many, carbs or whatever, this much meat or dairy. Do you remember seeing that thing?
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting if you dig into it, which of the councils funded that.
Yep.
They were like, oh, okay, so the bread council is going to pay this many millions, and they really want slot 3 on the food pyramid, and then the
Mm-hmm.
dairy council bought slot 2. Kind of amazing, And we've gone from that sort of like big corporate, I don't know how you put it, the distortion of the data by huge corporations that have interests, let's say,
Mm-hmm.
and now we have people getting advice on social media from people who know nothing and they're just making money off selling like some weird thing that some company is like, hey man, we'll cut you in 50% of the profit if you just sell this stuff. They
Yep.
don't even take it.
That's another reason it's really good to just keep your blinders up because
True.
what even is truth anymore? And the
Ooh,
beautiful
deep.
thing is that, well, you get to decide what truth is for you.
Truth is what's in my notion. Okay. Don't mess with that.
The blue tab.
The sacred blue tab. Right. I had it blessed by the Tibetan monks.
Yeah. No, but you're right, especially with like AI coming about.
Mm-hmm.
What even is real anymore?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just whatever you decide you want to be real. Because,
Okay. You want to hear a funny story?
okay.
So there was a book that Michael Crichton wrote that was made into, let's say, I've worked in film. It's hard to make a good film. Okay. It is not that people set out to make bad films. Almost everyone tries to make a great film. It's just hard to do. That's why you have bad films. Okay. So he wrote this book, which of course, being Michael Crichton, it was written almost like a screenplay for adaptation, and it was made into a film. They completely missed the point of the book. The film became this LA chase with Sean Connery and Wesley Snipes with these bad Japanese people who were, trying to cover up a murder. It's just like being this bad procedural movie. Here's what is so interesting. If I were Michael Crichton, I would be like, guys, I gave you a real idea that was ahead of its time, and you completely missed it. Like, I built you this beautiful road to get to school, and you continually drive through the woods and like get flat tires. And I showed you the road, right? And the book was called Rising Sun. And the plot premise was this: big Japanese corporation opens a state of the art skyscraper in Los Angeles, and they have an opening night party. At the party, a murder happens in the penthouse. And of course, this being a modern building, it has cameras everywhere and, recordings and all right. Sean Connery and Wesley Snipes end up playing the detectives who are called to find out, who killed the girl in the penthouse. Blah. And the trouble they encounter is someone got to the security cameras before the recordings before they did and digitally erased. Like whoever enters the room, you can't see who enters the room. You see the girl, but you can't see the guy, right? So here's the thing. If you ever read the book, it is incredibly thoughtful, where Crichton essentially says this. He says, we have evolved, technology has evolved to the point where we can fool all of our senses. Like there was an old Memorex ad that was like, is it live or is it Memorex? And it had this guy sitting there listening to music. And the point was, hey man, this tape is so faithful to the original sound, you can't tell the difference. And Crichton was like, we just hit the point in human history, the first point in human history where the final sense that allowed us to tell if something is true, we can fool it. Mm-hmm. So that phrase, seeing is believing, our kids will not understand. Walking into a court of law to get someone sentenced to death, a divorce approved, a settlement done. You're going to show a photo of, oh, this is Savannah cheating on her husband. And Savannah's like, oh, yeah, here's the Photoshop version you did. I get it. And his point was, so we hit this point in history where suddenly the final sense that we had to determine if something is truth is gone. Mm. Okay, that has some obvious implications in terms of courts of law and proving things. But he said the deeper thing is this: all of us grew up emotionally in a world where we believed there was a truth that could be proven. Mm-hmm. What about the next generation that grows up and they know there is nothing they can do to figure out if it's truth or not? He's like, how does that fundamentally change us emotionally? It's not about the court of law. It's about that sense of, I don't know, is it real? And we're there.
Mm-hmm. But it opens up a whole world of possibilities, though. Because if nothing is real and you don't know what is and what isn't, you get to choose what you decide is. And I've told people for years, it doesn't matter if it's actually factual. Mm-hmm. What matters is, does it help you cope? Does it help you navigate life a little bit easier, a little bit better? Does it make you happy?
Because I think there is an argument to be made that you're right. But hey, you know what? This is fun and we're going to poke each other a bit, okay?
Okay.
So what happens when you apply that, which sounds great in most use cases, right? You apply that to, hey, kids don't need measles vaccines, and there are all these people on social media and all this evidence and these videos of totally healthy. And your kid goes to school and gets measles, like all those kids in North Carolina, I think, right now, mm-hmm. like 300 kids that are measles. Measles, that was like my grandparents' generation got measles. Mm-hmm. And now it's a thing. And I live in Texas, where guess what? We have measles again. Mm-hmm. I've got a 5-week-old kid. And it's like what you were saying about your parents with indoor plumbing, where you take it for granted, but they were like, no, we didn't really have that. Mm-hmm. It's like we're going back to that. And it's largely driven by social media, where it's just, there is no objective truth.
Mm-hmm. Well, it didn't start with social media. It definitely started with media but it was
What media?
all media, radio, like you,
Measles?
newspaper. No,
No.
just misinformation and people having agendas.
Yeah, very true. But now we can create that, and
Now
it's
it's in the hands of everybody, which,
exactly
yeah, is scary, but also it's been in the hands of people that we couldn't see for a long time. And I believe that you have to make a mess in order to clean a mess. So, like, things get worse before they get better. And that's not me saying, like, that any of it's okay. I'm just saying, like, this is the natural progression of things. If the closet is jam-packed and dirty and there's probably some mice skeletons in the back bottom over there. You have to pull all that out first. You have to make the whole room messy before you can start putting it back together in a better
so
manner.
how do you clean up social media?
Well, that's not my job.
But when you're saying like you got to make a mess, and
Mm-hmm.
it's bad.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think just education, just individual education of, like when we were in school, we were taught to cite your sources in a paper.
mhm,
You can't just Google something and take the first few things that's popped up. But I mean, kids do that, and the kids these days they have no understanding of citing your sources. They just kind of take things for face value, which then falls back on the
correct.
education system and how poorly
Which
that's been put together.
we're gutting.
Yes, thank God.
Well, thank God. But Savannah, I'm just going to push back, which is you have a system where, as you and I both agree, the younger generations coming up, we're not talking about 60-year-old people, right? So the generation coming up relies upon the media in their phone largely
Mm-hmm.
to tell them what's up. Facebook, TikTok, Snap for some of them, and that media, those algorithms are controlled by very wealthy guys named Elon, Mark, Evan,
Sure.
and now the Ellisons, who are funding the politicians to make the regulations to let them do what they want. Like I don't know if you saw this week, they uncovered the Facebook documents where Facebook knows there are over $3 billion of Chinese scam ads. And Mark last year said, yeah, go with it. Don't stop that. That's $3 billion, you idiots. Let them keep placing scam ads. We don't pay for all the Facebook users that end up losing their money to this scam.
Mm-hmm.
The Chinese guys pay us money for the ad. Who cares what happens to the user? It's
Mm-hmm.
not our problem. And he told them, don't do anything. Don't stop this. That is $3 billion of revenue, you idiots. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And he obviously just funded the Trump ballroom and he's been paying off, Trump. And it's like, so he's continuing to write the regulation. So I'm just curious, how do you think that gets cleaned up when you have the people who are creating the algorithm to make sure you understand the news as the way they want it to be, and they get to perpetuate it?
There is no way that we can clean it up. It has to be I think it has to be a slow drip global reform. Like, as long as people are us against them, then you're going to have these types of things, like bot farms. There's people are, you get on the internet and you see people fighting about this and that, and that's not behavior that you would see in person, like
Right.
me and you can sit here and
That
have
is
an incredible
correct.
conversation,
That is so true.
but people get, the keyboard warriors and all that, and they think that they're doing something, but they're not. When
Right.
they could instead answer the emails in their inbox and just go to sleep and
And clean their closet.
clean their closets.
Yeah. But there's
It
some
all starts
interesting
with the individual.
there are some interesting phenomena around that, which is because if you look at the large social media companies, they're public. Their engagement, shareholder value, as it's put in the financial report, is about how long do people spend time in app or time on site, right? And the algorithms point to that people spend more time when they're angry. So that's
Hmm.
why rage bait is a thing. So you
Hmm.
have these companies that are driven by shareholder value. I mean, in their minds, they're like, the ultimate thing we do is we keep increasing our stock price. That is how we get our bonuses. That's how this all works. The way in which we increase the stock price is time on site, time in app. And the best way to do that is rage bait. And it was
Mm-hmm.
interesting because last week, I don't know if you saw this, Elon Musk's platform that used to be called Twitter, it's now called X.
Mm-hmm.
They did a thing where they showed the location of these accounts and they turned it off within a day because you know what it revealed? Over 50% of the accounts that were pushing political rage bait were in Asia and Africa because
Yep.
they knew they made more money on their little accounts getting ads shown. They have no dog in the fight. They're complete mercenaries just going, I can post this Trump or Pelosi rage bait and
Mm-hmm.
just make money. And you're like, these are not even Americans with any stake in this,
Mm-hmm.
but the platform is set up that way. And you're right,
Mm-hmm.
we have a horribly divided country now.
Mm-hmm. Everything's divided. And it's been, I don't know, we could talk about conspiracies all day. Divided people are easier to control. So
True. Truth.
who's pulling the strings back
Yeah.
there? Your guess is as good as mine, but I mean, we could probably take some guesses.
Well, it's pretty obvious. It's you follow the money. It's just like Watergate, like Deep
Yeah,
Throat. It's just follow the
BlackRock.
money. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
So then instead, so what I do is put my blinders up and
There goes the blinders. You have lots of
uh-huh,
blinders at home.
I do. I do. But all I can control, and that's what we
Mhm.
need to do. Every single one of us needs to focus. No one of us can make a huge difference in any of
Mhm.
these things, but we can all make really big differences in the lives that we do touch. So, and that's where it starts because again, children who have, because that's where it starts, children have the love and support and all of their needs met, don't grow up to be narcissistic, world dominators. And they
So
don't
true. Yeah.
they don't have time. People who are happy and living a really good, happy, healthy life don't create bot farms and rage bait, you know?
Yeah, it's true. It's
Mhm.
true. I
So
know.
we have to focus on ourselves first so that we have the capacity to extend our energy out
Mhm.
to other people because, if we're overwhelmed and overworked and not taking care of ourselves, then we don't feel good. And if we don't feel good, then people are annoying, inevitably. People are annoying. So even the ones you love the most, they're annoying sometimes. And the difference is if you don't have the capacity to have patience with them, then you're going to snap at them. You're
Mhm.
going to react instead of consciously choose how you interact. And then they go on, energy is contagious. Angry energy is contagious, just like positive energy is contagious. So if you have a negative interaction with a stranger on the street, you know, happy, healthy people are going to go, oh man, I wonder what's wrong with that guy. I hope everything's okay.
Yeah.
And they're not going to take it personally. But if you're not happy with who you are and how your life is going, you're going to take it very personally. And the next thing you know, you're in a road rage accident, altercation.
Very wisely said. I say a similar thing. The way in which I phrase it is this is people think generally they vote every 4 years, right? That's the
Hmm.
big one we all think about, the presidential election every 4 years. And the way I look at it is we vote every day hundreds of times in
Yes.
little ways for the world that we want. And you're right. It is two of you are looking at that parking spot. Do you let the other guy have it and go, I'll get another one? Or you absolutely like, F you, I'm going to pull my card and block you. Da, da, da. And it's you just vote for how that person's going to feel, how
Yeah.
you're expressing yourself in the world. And you do it hundreds of times a day. You
Hmm.
can grab the coffee and run out the door. Or you can say thank you.
Hmm.
Like you kind of you think about how you vote for the world you want, and it's every day, all the time.
And not even thank you, but like, hey, I like that shirt. As you worn out, like that, those are better than thank
Sure.
yous. I
But
tell
I mean,
you
you
what.
better mean it. It better be a good shirt.
True, true.
Just
No,
saying,
I don't say
sincerity
anything I
counts.
don't mean. I just smile and nod and
So you
run.
like this shirt?
It's kind of dark. It's hard to see.
It is. It is. Yes. True.
But yeah, I think the way we fix everything is by focusing on the children in our lives and doing for them what we admired that was done for us, and then doing better in contrast to what we didn't like that was done to us.
Mhm.
You know, you look back at your childhood and the things that influenced you the most were the people who just, didn't even do anything special. They just sat and played with you for 10 minutes.
Mhm.
You were having a bad day and they listened to what was going on and validated your emotions. Like all of these little things that we think don't matter are the only things that do matter. You know, life is lived in the little tiny moments every single
True.
day.
This is true. This is true. So I asked you earlier why you were here, why you were put on Earth,
Hmm.
and you talked in a very general way about, things. Is there a thing that you think you were meant to do? Is there something where it's like, this is the crowning achievement of my life? And it could be the
I
podcast. I don't know.
No, I used to. I used to think that I was here for a purpose because, good God, it had to mean something. Everything was so what traumatic, problematic, awkward. I don't even know. I spent my entire life just, why do I not fit in?
Mhm.
And then upon researching, because everybody always insisted I was the problem. Like, okay.
That's got to be comfortable.
Oh, it's wonderful, right? So I'm like, okay. So I didn't think I was. Like for me, like I was like, I don't know if that's right. I don't know. I don't feel like I'm actually causing the problems, but okay. So then that essentially I spent lots and lots and lots of years, most of my life obsessing over, why don't I fit in with people? And
Mhm.
am I the issue? And I was really, really, really wanted to make sure I wasn't. I just wanted to
Right?
do everything in my power to make sure I wasn't the problem.
How
So,
would you know?
how would you know, honestly? So I started researching, psychology and uh, successful achievement type things. I don't know what. All right, who do I admire? Okay, they're success. In the beginning, I was just Googling like how to be successful, how to be a productive member of society, like just those
Okay.
types of things. And started reading books, and it led me into like the world of coaching, like personal development and
Mhm.
stuff.
Yep.
So that's where, and somewhere in there, it said something that stuck with me until I went to tell you just now, and it left my brain.
See, it's like that.
If you don't fit in where you're at, it's because you were supposed to make a change
Mhm.
in that area, something
Where
like
you
that.
are, something. Yeah.
So, all right, so I stuck with that. So that like I was like, oh, okay, I don't fit in, so I'm supposed to make positive change in this area in my
Okay.
community. Okay.
Mhm.
So that's what I started trying to focus on and just trying to make the most impact where I could, when I could, how I could. And, you know, there's a certain level of that that is really egotistical and narcissistic. It's
Mhm.
like, oh, I'm here to save the world.
Right.
And so once I realized that, it was like, well, I don't want, that's not good. I shouldn't be egotistical, narcissistic. So then I started like re-looking at everything with a new light. And now I'm just like, I'm just a person just like you are. And we're all out here just doing the best that we can with what we have available to us every single day. And then I became a mom, and I have friends who are moms and children these days. You think we're depressed and anxious. Children are having such a hard time. And so I know a lot of kids that are and have been for many years suicidal.
Mhm.
They're talking to them and they want to know what the point is.
Uh-huh.
What's the purpose? What's the point? We're all going to die. What does it matter if I die when I'm 80? Wouldn't it save a whole lot of trouble and a whole lot of heartache if I just went ahead and cut to the chase right now? Is how they're feeling.
Mhm.
So, you know, faced with that, it's like, well, what do you tell these kids? about the
Yeah.
purpose of life, they're not going to, they don't, nothing clicks, you know? It's like, oh, your purpose is to help other people. And they're like, well, screw other people. What has other people done for me? Have you seen other people? Other people are terrible. Why is it my job to fix them? It's not, you know? Your
Yeah.
job is just to be happy. That's the purpose. That's the point of us all being here. Be happy. And what makes you happy? Most people don't know. Well, feeling good. So taking
Hmm.
care of your body and having good, deep emotional connections with people in your life. That's
Hmm.
it. That's what it all boils down to.
How many
So
people do you think you can care about?
I think it's like our brains are only designed to hold the identities of like 300 people.
Are you talking about Dunbar's number? It's 150.
Yeah.
The Dunbar's
150?
number is 150. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm
But
talking
I
about.
meant care about that. Dunbar's number is people you can sort of like keep in orbit, like you sort of know, oh yeah, Joanna's still working at the county tax
Right.
office sort of thing. But like, do I deeply care about Joanna? I'm not sure. My question is, how many people do you think you can deeply care about at one
You
time?
you figure it out real quick around Christmas that it is only about 30 to 50 people. And that's a lot. And that's
That's a
pushing it.
lot.
That's probably like that's hard.
That's my hat is off to you if you could pull that off with 30 to 50
Dude,
people.
I'm doing my best. So
God bless.
people with really
Wow.
big families. Yeah, it makes
Yeah.
things sticky. It makes things really sticky. You know, I have an aunt who, bless her soul, she's the best person I know. And she had one of her nieces died when she was 16. And
Ooh.
she was only probably 10 years younger than me. The niece that died. Um, she was on the other side of the family, so it wasn't too much of a connection to me. But anyway, it really had a big impact on my aunt, and she was telling me how she wanted to be there for me better, and like how she's like, I haven't been there for you, like I could have been. I haven't put the effort and the energy into you like I should have. And I told her that I am not yours. Like, even though you're my aunt and you're like directly right there, and man, do
Hmm?
I value that relationship.
Yeah.
It's unfair for either of us to put that on each other when
Right.
you have three children, you know, and that's it. You have three children and you need to focus on them. And then
Yeah.
everybody else is just extra. And that steps on a lot of people's toes when you're talking about, oh, you should take care of your parents. Maybe that's sticky. But
Are your parents nearby?
yeah, yeah, they live about 7 minutes down the road.
Oh, there you
Yeah.
go.
My I live, yeah. Yeah. I've lived in the same 10-mile radius my entire life. And
Where?
Athens, Alabama.
Okay. There you go.
And I'm related to like every third person in the
Hmm.
area. Like
Yeah.
pilgrims got to right here and then just stopped. And you can trace my lineage a couple of hundred years back right here. And oh, it's terrible.
What was dating like?
Yeah, I always joke about how I had to import my boyfriends to make sure that I
I
wasn't.
bet.
No,
Because you're
I'm
like,
not
are you
even
a
kidding.
cousin?
We, so the house, when I was about 16, the house next door to mine caught fire. And
Okay.
me and my best friend were sitting on the back of my dad's truck watching. And we were watching the firefighters and the police officers, and we honed in on this one firefighter, okay? And we were like, oh yeah, that one. That's an attractive firefighter. And for like an hour, 2 hours, sat here just watching them put out that fire. And because you know it was before the internet, we didn't have anything else going on. And after it was all said and done, that firefighter that we had pointed out walked across the yard to our house and started talking to my parents and was 100% my second cousin.
Oh, man.
That's exactly what it's like living here. But
But you still dated him, right? I'm kidding. That's a
no,
joke. That's a joke.
no. I'm from Alabama. Yep, that's a.
I'm kidding.
That's a
Yeah.
thing. But yeah,
That's
no, my,
crazy.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah, it's enough. It's growing up in a small town, everybody's always like, "Oh, that must have been wonderful." Eh. The thing about small towns is that nobody ever actually has to get to know you to know who you are
Oh, okay.
because they already know who you are, you
Right.
know?
Because you come with context. They're like, oh, you're
Yep.
John and Emily's daughter. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow, I've never had that.
Lucky. I can't
No,
even go
my
to Walmart.
mom's family largely died in a fire before I was born.
Oh
So
man.
don't know that side of the family. And my father's side of the family is in India. So again, I know I have relatives. I've met them, but it's you meet them a couple times in your life. You're not going to birthday parties together or anything. So it's
Yeah.
largely been, just kind of me.
There's pros and cons to everything for sure. Like, the
Hmm?
grass is always greener on the other side.
Sure.
There's a certain amount of liberation and freedom that comes with less people to please.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Settling down roots, though. You starting a family. Is this your first baby?
The first one downstairs, gratefully healthy and just adorable little rascal. And yeah, never lived a very selfish life through my film years and this tech stuff. And glad I didn't do this sooner.
Well, good. My philosophy was if I start early, I'll be done quicker, and then I can be as selfish as I want.
There you go. How old were you when you had your first child?
Well, so we lost our first one at
Sorry.
22.
Hmm?
And then so our first one that stuck was 23.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had my second when I was 26.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm done.
There you go. Yeah, we were
So I
talking
have
about
a,
having another one in 2 years. So about that
oh,
kind of
yeah.
space. Yeah.
Yeah, we were right at three. So my son was he turned 3 a month after my daughter was born. So it seems it's an interesting age gap because they're close enough in age to where, and that's what I wanted. I wanted it to be them against the world because,
Mm-hmm.
your parents aren't always going to be around to take care of you, but your
Yep.
siblings,
Yep.
that's a bond right there. And I'm not close with any of my siblings, and I hated that. So, and
Yep.
there's a big age difference. So like they were always in different eras, didn't have any of the same friends. And so my kids, they still enjoy the same, even though he's fixing to be 11 and she is turning 8 soon. They still like the same shows and movies, and then they still hang out and play together, and they have friends they can get along with
I
both.
love that.
Hmm.
Yeah, we're aiming for, I mean, the universe will tell us how that's going to work, but that is our hope is that they are at that age where they're kind of peers and kind of friends. And maybe as a big brother, he's a little chivalrous, you know,
Yeah,
but that they do have each other.
yeah. You
Yeah.
can you can cultivate that relationship for them for sure. Like, um,
How?
just making them a team.
Okay.
So what I do is like, hey, I need you guys, like both of you, to go do this thing.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
And they're probably gonna fight, but and then they're gonna come to me crying about it, and I'm gonna tell them that that's none of my business. That's between them.
Yep.
And I might be like, well, you are kind of being a jerk, but also you're being kind of whiny. So, both of y'all are at fault. You just make them a little team.
Okay. I love that. We'll be doing some of that.
Hmm. All right. Well, we can wrap things up if you want to.
Sure. It was really nice chatting with you. Man, it is an interesting period of time to have this chat. And I hope some of the things that you believe are going to be true. Because I worry.
Sure. Being a parent is terrifying.
Yeah.
If I had known the amount of fear that I don't know. I don't know. It's so worth it, but it is so scary and just devastatingly heartbreaking just for them to even exist because you look out into the world and you're like, "Oh man, there
Yeah.
are so many things that could go wrong. There's
Yep.
so many accidents. And you can't stare at them 24/7."
No, I'm with you. I feel pretty good about them going out there and making their mistakes and things going to happen. I meant more about in the world we're at a point where the incentives um, about how the world is created are going to self perpetuate. You know, I think it was Charlie Munger who said it was either Charlie Munger or Warren Buffett who said, "Show me the incentives and I'll show you the outcome."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But there is hope that, with the access to the internet, we have more access to knowledge than we ever had before. So there was a adjustment period for sure,
Mhm.
as with all things. But the possibilities that are available for our children are something that, they really are endless, whereas we were pretty limited to what we had available to us, even under the best of circumstances.
Mhm.
So, you know, the kids these days, they're more conscious of a lot of things because they have access to the rest of the world. So whereas, out of sight, out of mind, a lot of people for ever and ever and ever have unintentionally had their blinders on because there wasn't access to what was happening on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
And, our nervous systems evolved in that more calmness, and that's why we're all overwhelmed and anxious now because the wiring didn't hasn't adjusted yet.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
we're not supposed to have like all this coming at us 24/7 the way we do, which means we have to work harder now to create the space in our lives to
Hmm.
figure out how to calm our anxiety and manage our existential crises
Yeah.
for ever occurring. But we have so much available to us in the form of support and knowledge and where to turn so we can do the
Hmm.
research to figure out how to help ourselves. Whereas before we didn't have that. We were just kind of like, "Hey, I'm drowning. Well, someone please
True.
help me." But
Yeah.
then everybody else is drowning too, and they don't know how to help you and they don't know how to help themselves. So they're just
There
yelling
you
at you to
go.
go
Yeah.
away and figure it out and suck it up and stop crying. So, it's better.
Yeah.
The world's always been ending.
True. I hope you're right about many of these things.
Yeah. Well, doesn't really matter if I am or not, right? Things will
Uh,
unfold the way they'll unfold.
The way they're going to unfold, this is true. And yeah, vote every day.
Mm-hmm. Figure out a way to be
It's cool.
happy.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you. Tell people how to find your app and what it's about and anything else you want to plug.
Oh no, I don't need to plug anything.
All right. Well, I'll
Yeah,
link it below for sure. So,
sure. Thanks.
all right.
Okay. Have a great Wednesday.
You
Stay
too.
dry.